I did start out as a CPA, and I became a CPA because that was what my father was. And I grew up around business, and so when I would come home from school, I would go and sit in my dad's office, and I would do my homework, and he would be talking to people on the phone, and different people would be coming in and out of his office to talk to him. And I was just sort of a fly on the wall. I got to observe this relationship and the way he did his business and the deals that he did and whatnot. And I just thought that was the funnest thing in the world. So anyway, I started out as an accountant. And I quickly realized that in the world of Big 8 accounting, as it was at the time, but now the Final Four, that's a different thing than what my dad did. So people ask me how I got from accounting to investment. I said, well, I was an accountant who was more interested in dollars than numbers. And there's a very profound difference between the two. So I went out to meet Steve Markel and just sort of learn about that business. And it was the same sort of notion where you had this specialty insurance company who would do sort of unusual forms of insurance, but actually make a profit in the base business of insurance itself, and was willing to invest the money longer term. So from 86 through 1990, I was the analyst, covered Markel, wrote reports about him, got to know Steve. He became a friend, he became a client, we just sort of hit it off. In 1990, Markel did a deal where they more than doubled the size of the company. And Steve had been doing the investments by himself and thought, well, it's twice as big, maybe I could use a wingman to help me out. Said something to me about coming out there, and I said, that sounds like fun. And that was 25 years ago. I've been there ever since. So the first component of the engine that really drives things is the fact that Markel has a unique specialty insurance business. We do this stuff that somebody says, oh no, or whoops, or how could we possibly get coverage for this? Now from that, so there's an investment operation that's created by virtue of the fact that you have an insurance policy. What that means is, since we collect money today, well then there's a pot of money sitting around and that needs to be invested. So every insurance company has within it an embedded investment operation, and Markel does as well. That's how the money comes in. It comes in through the insurance side. The cut, that's how the cut works, that 90% of it's going to go into a plain fixed income portfolio, 10% is going to be invested longer term. Now the last piece that I'll talk about is, so that money that's invested longer term, how do you think about that? There's 4 things that we look for. And the first is, we look for profitable businesses, good returns on capital, and that don't need too much leverage. The second thing that we think about and that we look at, and again, this applies not just to selecting investments or selecting businesses, but it's also selecting and managing the people of the organization. We like management teams that have equal measures of talent and integrity. The third thing we think about is what are the reinvestment dynamics of a business? And then the fourth and final lens that we would look at things through is valuation, price. What do you have to pay? And I find if I find the first 3 attributes, well, you can pay a fair price. You don't need to steal it. You don't need to bargain and dicker somebody and make somebody miserable on the other side of the table on a deal. If you find those first 3 things, you just see more traffic and you see better deals. You build better relationships if you go about things that way. And that's been the hallmark of the way in which we try to construct insurance transactions, the way in which we hire and retain and motivate people, and the way in which we look at potential acquisitions or potential stock investments or potential businesses that we bought.